In a sea of underrated and overlooked video game sequels, Doom 3 stands out a lot for being a game which, despite its black sheep status today, is and always has been a game which held a bunch of significance and importance in the video game world. Not only was it one of the first video games with next-gen graphics that would go on to be the standard of the industry, the game just felt like it was bigger than life in the time when it came out. Doom 3 was the most sold Doom game of that time period, all until Doom 2016, and was actually one of the most popular and beloved games of the early to mid 2000s. I mean, come on, you know that Doom 3 is actually that good, and when even PewDiePie played it out of all the other games.
What was that? Oh, my life!
And so, with this large success comes a lot of new media and follow-ups for the game or series. And let me tell you, Doom 3 has gotten so much additional media after the original game came out back in 2004. Do you guys know how with each Persona game released, Atlus always seems to milk it out with content after content until it hits rock bottom and they make a new game, making something simple as manga adaptations for Persona 2 to this absurd and very questionable Maya Amano statue which is so busty I wouldn't be surprised if I could use it as a cup holder. Well, that's exactly how id Software treated Doom 3 because throughout its original sale run was able to sell 3.6 million copies worldwide. Books, a movie, merchandise, console ports, a remaster in VR, a mobile phone rail shooter, a board game, and most important of all, expansion packs, or as how the modern video game industry knows it, video game DLCs. Doom is absolutely no stranger to game DLCs, giving additional content to the main campaigns, dating all the way back with Doom 2's final Doom expansion, and from then on out was a party of new additional content packs for Doom games. You have your usual fan favorites like the Doom 2 Master Level, the multiplayer DLCs for Doom 2016, and the two-parter Ancient Gods DLC for Doom Eternal that has the coolest moment in video game history.
My name is Jeff.
However, out of the Doom expansion packs everybody seems to know and talk about, none come near close to being as acknowledged as 2005's and 2012's Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil and Doom The Lost Mission. ROE and Lost Mission are the two DLC campaigns for Doom 3 which offer a new set of levels with additional weapons and enemies, as well as new stories, voice acting, characters, set pieces, and so much more. And I've got to say, they are very interesting. Doom 3 is a game that already adds a lot and makes a lot of the original Doom formula, especially with its horror atmosphere, anti-satanic message, and slow-paced style gameplay. But these expansions are whole different beasts entirely, giving the game a new fresh coat of paint with their new levels, each with their own new look and feel to them. Brand new weapons added into the campaign, and most importantly, new dangerous foes that the player can face, giving the game a whole new identity and also just adding more meat to the bone of the game's replayability and lifetime. Did you know that the Doom 3 multiplayer actually launched with only 5 maps back in the game's release? No way is someone gonna play a multiplayer mode with only 5 maps for the next 20 years, so that is why these expansions exist. To bring a new life into Doom 3 and also explore more on what the original game set out to do. Oh, and also add 4 new multiplayer levels, but whatever. I made a video on the original Doom 3 not that long ago and shared my absolute love towards it, so click on the pop-up to go and see it. To summarize, Doom 3 is a special game in the franchise for its brand new setting and surprisingly faithful take on the gameplay. I think it's one of my favorite horror games ever, and if you're still a hater of it and call Doom 64 the real Doom 3, then you're nothing but a little cherub. However, looking back, I did notice how Doom 3 can be seen as a pretty underwhelming game, what with its implementation of the horror in the gameplay, as well as how easy and short some of the levels can be. id Software took this info very carefully and worked up on it to make an expansion only 8 months later, with April of 2005's Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil. Taking place after the original game's events, Doom 3 ROE is not only a really fun addition to an already great game, but also possibly the most impressive storytelling I have seen in Doom games. ROE takes place 2 years after the original. Elizabeth McNeil, a character first mission in the base game through PDAs, sends out a Marine search squad to investigate an underground sector of Mars and recover what is in it. You are one of the Marines of this team, and once the team finds what appears to be some sort of heart-shaped artifact, your protagonist grabs it and unknowingly awakens Hell's forces once again, killing most of your team and reawakening Dr. Betruger, the antagonist of the original, in his new demonic form. And because of that, it's up to you to fight against the demon horde, discover the secrets of the artifact, and defeat Donald Doom over here and his new legion of demons once and for all. This is a really good follow-up to the original game, especially with its attempts to be vastly different than in the original, where the setting is way less horror based and feels more traditional for the franchise. And so far, it is a good start, with everything being quite close and similar to the original. Same weapons, same combat, same movements, same gunplay, the works. However, this first level already introduces us to two new things that we will witness in ROE. First, we have our first new enemy, the Forgotten Ones. Looking more like their Doom 1 and Doom 2 counterparts, Forgotten Ones are weaker lost souls. That's it, really. They may not be great enemies, but it's nice to see some old school Doom rep in this expansion, and their designs and appearance fit well into the current setting. But then we get something really special in this level. A little weapon known as the Grabber. What is the Grabber exactly? Well, think about Half-Life 2's Gravity Gun. HL2 was a direct competitor to Doom 3 at the time, and despite it climbing on top and changing society as a whole forever, Doom 3's response to the Gravity Gun is a weapon which you can use by either grabbing objects around you and tossing them, or grabbing projectiles of enemies and fighting them with it. I love the Grabber. It may not be anywhere as good or fun as the Gravity Gun, but it is so satisfying to use, and not just because you can liquefy people that will, but because of how useful it is for ammo management, and also the fact you can one-shot things so easily, from imps all the way to Caco demons. You can also instantly kill the new lost souls and also threats and ticks by just grabbing them and dropping them, making it so you don't have to waste all your ammo on them. Awesome! The next level is very interesting, especially since it features a location very similar to the original, and also because when I was walking around I stumbled upon this guy. Okay, bye then. I wonder what happens if I talk to him.
UAC has no idea what they're up against.
Whoops. Butterfingers. Are you okay, bruh?
Go! You'll attract them!
Who am I attracting? The local spider mommy waifu. Oh my goodness! Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? These are the Vulgars, the most common of the new enemies in Resurrection of Evil. We all know how much everybody liked the large amount of imps in the original game, so ROE does the next best thing by taking the Doom 3 imps and amplifying their annoyance level from low to rocket jumping sky high. The Vulgars deal more damage, are faster with their projectiles, always crawl to avoid gunshots, they leap instantaneously and deal twice the damage, they spawn everywhere, they attack in packs, and throughout the campaign they will be your worst enemies. Not in the sense that they're bad though. I really like how stronger they are and pose a larger threat. But I do find the design to be very off. It doesn't really feel like Doom 3 itself, probably because this was originally going to be the model for the Archvile, which I'm glad they chose to not go with. Anyways, as you are blasting all of these new enemies with your new little dollar store gravity gun, you come across one of the few bosses of ROE, a Hell Hunter. One of my least favorite parts of the original game were all of the boss fights. Doom may have not been great with their boss fights even before Doom 3, with enemies like the Spider Mastermind, the Icon of Sin, or the Mother Demon, which were able to be slain easily. But still, Doom 3 had quite of a missed opportunity to improve them. The Vagary is an easy damage sponge and is only remembered because of the questionable design. The Hell Guardian is an absolute joke if you have the rocket launcher of BFG. Demonized Sarge is infamous for being able to be killed in 5 seconds, and the Cyber Demon was nothing but a slow game of running in circles and repeating a cycle of killing. However, thankfully, Doom 3 ROE finally uses our opportunity to give us some really great boss fights, starting with this one where you must use green projectiles with the Grabber to shoot it back at the monster, which I will say, for a first boss, it's impressive to know how he mugs the entire boss cast of the base game. After we defeat him though, we unlock something special related to the artifact, a little power known as Hell Time. Using the artifact, you can actually slow down time and be able to kill enemies very quickly. This, just like the Grabber, is very powerful. Not only being able to literally just make it so that the hit scanners stand no chance against you, but also to bypass many enemy filled areas by just running past. Throughout the game you unlock more abilities with the artifact through the other bosses, but we'll get to that when things become important. Right now we are on level 3, where we are still using our Grabber and artifact and killing everything in sight. But it is at this point in the game where you realize just how many enemies this level holds, and you are slowly struggling with dealing with many of them, and you start asking yourself, how deep can things go? What will it be like with the larger enemies? How will you be able to handle so many of them at once? Or maybe a swarm of small and big demons at once? Well, as you go through level 3 and enter the office of the former Sergeant Kelly, where we see his own vulgar creation of a bear, a video game machine where you shoot down bears as him, and a whole photo of him with a newly claimed victim, you find this display case. And once you enter a code you find in the PDA, you get what I can only describe as the most powerful weapon in all of video game history. the Super Shotgun. If this gun were a president, it would solve world hunger. If it were a woman, it would be gorgeous. If it were a person, it would be prime Muhammad Ali. The Doom 3 Super Shotgun is an absolute beast. A powerhouse, an apex predator. It is an absolute king of kings. It sounds punchy like a nuclear warhead, and it deals damage like a rock to a set of teeth. I can't even describe how slept on this weapon is. You thought the Super Shotgun in Doom 2 was powerful? This thing can take out a Hell Knight in 2 shots. 2 shots. Combine this weapon with the slowdown effect of the artifact and you can skeet shot headshot almost every enemy in the game in 1 or 2 shots. It is seriously an unmatched power, and especially in level 3 of all things. How could you even give such a weapon this early is beyond me, because through some math, the max damage that the Doom 3 Super Shotgun can deal in 1 shot is 640 headshot damage. Seriously though? Coolest weapon ever. This thing would have broken the original if it were featured in it. Though, I still love the plasma rifle. I can never say no to it. Anyways, after we go through Erebus level 4, where we are on a fetch quest to grab batteries.
Who's there? Oh, get away!
No problem. And Erebus level 5, where we go through a large toxic tunnel while battling mancubi, maggots and cherubs. This is for all the nightmares you gave me after my initial video, you dirty little vermin. We come to level 6 and fight against the next Hell Hunter, which we fight by avoiding him trying to bounce on us as we shoot him down and also avoid his projectiles. This fight is probably less original than the first, but I'll take it any day over the base game bosses simply because he has enough health not to be dealt with in a second. After we beat him, we unlock the Berserk ability for our artifact. Berserk in the Doom games is a power-up that makes your punch attacks stronger, giving your fists a greater use as a weapon. Doom 3 did have Berserk both in single player and multiplayer, but it wasn't as used as it is now in ROE. And the best thing is that when you activate it, you are able to both slow down time and have Berserk at the same time, leading our new Doom guy to become a makeshift world record runner who tickles the noses of his enemies at lightning speed. We are now finally out of Erebus labs and are now inside the sector called Phobos labs. We fight our way through enemies as well as the returning commandos as we take a tram ride to the outside and on our way witness some poor chap have a Hell Knight teleport in front of him and get flung right into our window. This then leads us to what is essentially the magnum opus of ROE, Phobos Labs 2. The reason why I'm saying this is because not only is it the most challenging level in the entire game, not only is it the longest level in the entire game, with almost every enemy being featured as well as going through obstacles like tiny arenas, the outside, and also some platforming, but this is also the level that introduces us to the final new enemy of Resurrection of Evil, and one that is very interesting. Everyone, meet the Bruiser. Originally an enemy that was going to be featured in the base game but was cut through some annotations, the Bruiser is an absolute powerhouse of a tank enemy. It is a mutated Frankenstein monster of a Mancubus and a Hell Knight, with its arm cannons, large height and weight, incredible durability, and also that sick TV display that is used as both a mouth and a face. Apparently he was going to be a camouflaging jump scare enemy, which I really wished could have been the case, because I think that would have made the scariest moment in all of the Doom franchise. But still, I really like the Bruiser for being a really cool combination of 2 already cool looking enemies. These guys are tough as well. I recommend not even bothering to use your weapons and instead save all of your Berserk power-ups on them. This will come in handy, trust me. Also, I'm pretty sure they're this game's Baron of Hell. And if you know me, Barons are my favorite Doom enemy, so I'm bound to really love their designs here. Anyways, after we fight a bunch of enemies through some brutal encounters, we find the final Hellhunter boss and have my favorite boss fight in the game. This one requires you to master almost everything you know about the gameplay of Doom 3, and uses it very well. Outstrafing projectiles, weapon combos, resource management, power-up usage, reaction time. It's probably some of the most fun you can have in the entirety of Doom 3. I especially like how you must use the slowdown effect to open a panel of electricity that is healing the monster, and also use your berserk fists in order to destroy them. I don't know, I really enjoyed this one. Feels like something straight out of Doom Eternal. Anyways, it is at this point where after beating the final Hellhunter, we unlock our last power-up, Invulnerability. Oh yes, if you thought we weren't enough of a killing machine, your groggy old man who's close to balding can now run fast like a cheetah, be indestructible against anything, and rip, slay and tear through all of his enemies just in one punch. Just like that one anime, with Guy, you know? What was it called again? Oh, right, Bumbly Wombly. I'm so powerful! Almost too powerful. This is the part where I talk about the story. Doom has always been a power fantasy. Arena shooters in general were always about power fantasies. Slaying demons, slaying Nazis, slaying Lovecraftian beasts, slaying aliens, slaying a fat bearded man who stuffs himself with sandwiches. This genre of games were always about giving you the most powerful tools to use against a really intimidating force to make you feel like an action hero, a knight in crimson armor, an absolute warrior. One thing I really liked about base game Doom 3 was the fact that, as both a horror game and Doom game, it was up to the player how they played through it. Will they be careful, slow, with a finger pressed right next to the trigger for them to blast anything that could come from the darkest depths of the facilities? Or will you brave up, run quickly and confidently sway around to run away as quickly as you can from potential danger? It's all up to the person who plays it, which makes it a very unique experience depending on who is playing, which will fit the gameplay style of either. Resurrection of Evil on the other hand? This game wants you to feel like an unstoppable force. Not only with giving you many enemies to fight against in one, but with these new weapons that make you feel like an absolutely ballistic force, you slowly ask yourself something. Is this power making me feel strange? Why do you not feel like yourself again while using the artifact to defeat a bruiser in one punch, or insta-kill an enemy with the grabber or super shotgun? Well, it is the key component that makes Resurrection of Evil the game it is. It's a story about power. And one thing can be very certain, too much power is too dangerous. The artifact, the most important weapon we unlock in this game, is the item that has opened the initial gateway to hell in the original Doom 3. It is literally the single item of the story used by Betruger to cause the UAC incident and kill thousands of people, only to be stopped by one marine. But this time, with a new Doom guy being able to hold it and gain its powers through the Hellhunters, we see just how dangerous it really is. Sure, it may have saved our butt in many fights, but think about it for a second. As soon as we grabbed it, the second gate opened and all of our team got wiped out. We recharged it by using remaining human souls of dead people around us, opting our protagonists to literally finish off and feed off of humans instead of potentially saving them from the remaining souls. Betruger is chasing us down with his toughest demons yet, all because he wants that power too. A power so strong and unpredictable that even as you hold it, your protagonist's hands slowly rot but still manage to hold it. It is almost like it's calling you to keep holding it. All the while you kill all the demons using it, your Doom guy always seems to be smirking, loving it, and enjoying the power he's wielding. Almost like he too wants to have it all, to have the power, to conquer hell for it all. If writing in Doom games hasn't peaked here, I don't know where else it did. So things are pretty clear for us now. Our Doom guy is driven by the power of the artifact to keep fighting on and on for the thrill of it. However, we still do have a wish to fight Betruger and end him once and for all. However, the only way to do it is by activating a whole portal to hell and meeting him there. And the only way to do so is by deactivating almost all of the systems inside of Phobos Labs so that we may go to the now abandoned Delta Labs where you can find the portal to hell there. So we go shut down the pumping station and the life support systems, and we rush the Phobos Labs. All the while we lose contact with McNeil, and as we rush to the teleporter, we are sent to base game's Delta Labs level. But now it is in complete damage and taken over by Hell's forces, as the demonic powers of the artifact seem to send us through a dimensional flux every few seconds, as it shows a twisted and distorted version of the facilities full of blood, warped visions, and sans undertales. Luckily, the Marine resists the powers of the artifact he once used to get to his destination and goes right through the portal to Hell, and is ready to clear almost every remaining demon around it so that they may never awake again. You know what this means? Yes, for the final time, we are giving these beasts the butt whooping they deserve. Alright then, one more time everyone. Yeah, eat my overpowered obscure powers, you demons. Eventually, we clear all of the demons out, and finally face Betruger in his hellish form, known as the Maledict. And from here on out, we are on the biggest boss fight of the game, where we must shoot down Betruger from the skies with any weapons we have on us, as he tries to flame us with fireballs, summon demons on us, and throws hundreds of meteors. But eventually, we get the upper hand. In a surprising twist of fate, Betruger grabs us and almost eats us alive. And just as we were about to fall, die in the hands of the demonic ruler who is going to torture us for abusing his power against him, the Marine makes a final second decision to destroy the artifact by shoving it down Betruger's throat, destroying the artifact so nobody can use it, killing Betruger, and stopping Hell from taking over Earth for good. But, as we are badly wounded from this large fight, we slowly fade to white and hear our last words given to us.
Marine? Marine, welcome home.
If it wasn't clear by now, the true ending to Doom 3 is an unsolvable cliffhanger. We don't know what happened to the Marine, to McNeil, or the USC. However, one theory that I absolutely adore to think is the canon idea, is the idea that the fading to white we see after beating Betruger is implied to be that the Doom guy died and went into heaven. Despite how cheesy and weirdly inaccurate that is, I absolutely love it when looking back at what this game had to offer. No matter if you found Doom 3 scary or not, you cannot deny that the characters and protagonists had to live through what was an absolute nightmare. So the main protagonist, by destroying the very thing that almost corrupted him that previously corrupted the main antagonist and him being greeted into a peaceful afterlife by McNeil due to the life support system being shut down. I love it. I love it so much. It warms my heart, and despite what Doom as a franchise is like, I think this is one of the greatest video game endings of all time. Call me wet as much as you like, I think this is beautiful. So, that was Resurrection of Evil. I'm not sugarcoating it, this is one of the best DLCs of all time. Amazing story, amazing levels, great new additions, wonderful to the franchise and game, absolutely incredible ending to an already great game, and I'm so happy that you can still play this game for free of charge by buying any copy of Doom 3 nowadays you can find online. I highly recommend playing it, either as a standalone game or as a part of Doom 3. It's the bestest that this hidden gem has to offer, and overall it is the best ever game in which you can shoot an Australian in between the eyes.
Hey! You! I'm up here! The power's been knocked out down there!
Resurrection of Evil was a critical and commercial success, copying positive reviews by critics and fans, and it sold well enough to the point where it even got a port on the original Xbox, which you can entirely play as a standalone game. And things have been smooth sailing since. ROE was a must-buy DLC for Doom 3, people kept playing the game after its release, and the Doom franchise has been practically radio silent since. Despite it ending on a modern note, Resurrection of Evil was a great final hurrah to the Doom franchise at that point. Until in 2012, when id Software and Bethesda released Doom 3 the BFG Edition, a collection of Doom games throughout the years, featuring ports for Doom, Doom 2, Doom 2 No Rest for the Living, as well as remastered versions of Doom 3 and Resurrection of Evil. Now, I briefly touched upon the BFG Edition in my original video for Doom 3, and to summarize, BFG Edition is a very watered down port of the game, messing up the game mechanics to make it less fun, brightening up the visuals, and overall feeling they wanted to change the game to a state where it shouldn't have been like. Even Resurrection of Evil was done badly with it, having sections and features removed from the BFG Edition. Still, I found it to be an enjoyable experience, even 100%ing the game and getting all of the achievements. However, alongside the two original campaigns comes a brand new expansion DLC exclusive for the BFG Edition, Doom 3 The Lost Mission. Lost Mission is a real doozy when it comes to Doom 3. A DLC so strange that it isn't even known what the origin of them are. People speculate that the Lost Mission is a level pack of cut levels intended for the base game, while some say it was an Xbox level pack. Some call it unused co-op levels, some call it new levels, whatever. It features 8 new levels into a brand new story campaign, although sadly has no new features added into it. No new artifact, no new enemy, no new weapons. It's pretty much a glorified level pack for the base game. Although it does have all of the new enemies and weapons present in Resurrection of Evil, but funnily enough doesn't have Vulgars, which is very ironic now that I think about it. Also, for the sake of this video, I'm playing the campaign on a copy of the BFG Edition. There is a fan-made port of this expansion in the original Doom 3 from 2004, but I figured I wanted to talk about the expansion as it came right from the shelves. Anyways, Lost Mission is a very simple game pack when it comes to story. You are one of the Bravo Team Marines seen and mentioned in the original, and you are the only one of the group who survived. You stumble across a man named Dr. Richard Myers, and through his help, it's your mission to stop the demons once and for all by closing a second portal to hell and survive the invasion as best as you can. It's a very simple story, and it makes sense to base it off of an event that actually did happen in base Doom 3, without it having to affect the story too much. Although we do survive at the end, so I'm wondering if this retcons the fact that the base Doom 3 Marine was the only survivor of the original game's events. I'm also wondering why the Lost Mission Marine didn't somehow talk to Sergeant Kelly, since it was implied they had clear contact with him. Still, it fits well into the storyline, and you find a character like Dr. Myers to be one of the more trusting characters in all of Doom 3. One thing I learned about him is the fact that he is voiced by Paul Eiding, who voiced Grandpa Max in Ben 10.
And it has a range that could lead those demons all the way to Earth.
Knew I should have bought those asbestos seat covers when I had the chance.
I'll call him that from now on. Anyways, Lost Mission is exactly what you expect from Doom 3. Run and gun, exploration, ammo resourcing, PDA collect, horror shooter. Oh yeah, forgot to mention it. Lost Mission brings back the horror roots with way more jump scares and also slightly increased difficulty. In the first level alone, you fight against Wrights and Commandos with only a pistol, shotgun and machine gun. In level 2, you fight against multiple Archviles with additional grabber and super shotgun. And level 3 is so hard that they even added a non-hostile zombie. Well, they didn't, he's just stuck, but I like him so much that I'll consider him a friend. Welcome to the world, Robbie Zombie. Robbie? No, don't try hitting me. You know what I must do if you try. So long, Robbie. There isn't much I can say about the levels for this expansion, since it is all really based around the gameplay. And I will say, Lost Mission is quite fun to play through despite its short length. And thanks to there being more enemies, more stronger enemies, and no artifact or soul cube to use to cheat through certain encounters. Sure, you still have the beast that is the super shotgun, and you also have an armor mounted flashlight and more ammo, but I will forgive it for this expansion since it's clear it's more fast paced despite more jump scares and all. The level I do want to mention are this game's level in Hell and its Hell outposts. Lost Mission by far has the best Hell levels in all of the Doom 3 campaign trilogy, and they are all so fun and well designed that I wish they were in the original game so much. Not only do they look amazing visually, but they're also really fun since they're made up of many monster arenas where you face a bunch of demons at once and have to prioritize which to kill first with which weapons. The presentation is off the charts amazing, and I really recommend playing this campaign all because of the Hell levels alone. Also, in the final level in Hell, this place here has an Easter egg to the game id Software released at the time, Rage. Is Rage any good? I haven't ever played it, but I do have it on my wishlist, so I could probably buy it on a sale someday. But who cares? We are faced with the final challenge of the game, where we activate the machine to take care of the portal, and as we kill some demons and briefly see Betruger again, we fight against the only boss of the expansion, which is just a reused Hell Guardian that you can kill. It may not be that great of a boss, but it's fun enough for a short campaign like this. Anyways, we beat the demon, closed the portal, and finally saved the day, which concludes our journey with Doom 3, its DLCs, and the Lost Mission. We lived happily ever after, and we went to a worm food buffet with Grandpa while drinking down beers like the real Americans that the Doom 3 characters are. What a happy world to live in.